I had no idea that this journey would completely test my ability to overcome fear. I thought to myself, is this the night that I die? In 2019, I walked across America. I was on the search for answers to questions that nobody seemed to be able to give me. Along this journey, I discovered the truth behind a higher power, completely reshaped fear, overcame failures, and became the hero of my own journey. So join me on this series, Walk Across America, a journey to self-discovery. Similar to Odysseus in the Odyssey, I had to go out on an adventure to discover what it was that was truly important to myself and my spirit. I had answers that I needed to be answered, and the only way for me to fathom getting those answers was to go on my own hero's journey. If you don't know what the hero's journey is, it is an incredible form of telling a story.
I'm going on an adventure!
Every great story that you've ever heard of goes on this wheel of the hero's journey. And throughout the last few weeks, I've realized that my journey followed this journey to the T. The hero's journey is crucial to the ability of creating what you want in this world, discovering who you are, understanding what is important to you, and uncovering the depths of your soul. I'm going to go a little bit into the hero's journey. The hero journey starts with being in the ordinary world.
Thomas Anderson?
Yeah, that's me.
Most people live in this state. The ordinary world is basically you are content with the way that your life is going. Nothing really seems like it needs to change. Even if you think something needs to change, you don't really search for anything other than the day and day that you're living. Once you jump out of the ordinary world, there is the next phase of this hero's journey, and that is the call to adventure.
Hello?
Hello, Neo. Do you know who this is?
Morpheus.
A few weeks ago, I described exactly what it was that was my call to adventure. I received this epiphany, this call to adventure, that I needed to walk across the country. I needed answers, and the best thing that made sense to me at the time was to go on what I know now as my own hero's journey. Once you discover what the call is, your call to adventure, there is a point of a refusal to the call, of all these doubts and fears that enter your mind, enter your heart, that make you think about the reality of that adventure and why it will be impossible for you to actually complete that adventure or even start that adventure.
No way. No way. This is crazy. This is insane. Why is this happening to me? What'd I do? Nobody can do anything. I'm gonna die.
This refusal to the call is a lot of times where most people get stuck. Somewhere in the first half of the hero's journey is where people get stuck. Most of us know exactly what it is that we're being called to do, whether it's call to start your own business or leave the relationship that you're in or start a family or whatever it may be. Most of us have the calling and understand what it is that we are supposed to be doing in this present moment, but we refuse for whatever reason. Let it be fear of the unknown, of the possibilities that may happen because you decide to leave your partner, or you are afraid that if you start this business that you're going to go bankrupt and lose everything, which of course all these things are possibilities, but what you need to understand is living in a state of fear is only going to keep you right back to where we started, which was the ordinary world. The next phase of this hero's journey is meeting your guide.
Welcome, Neo. As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
Meeting your spiritual guide, the person or entity or spirit, whatever it may be, that gives you the strength and allows you the understanding that you are on the right journey and that there is more for you on the other side.
Can I help you?
I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
This first part is what I like to refer as the known world. This is the world that we live in. This is the world that we understand to be true, and we've never really left this part of the world. The next phase of this is what the hero's journey refers to as crossing the threshold. This is the point where we fully commit to the journey.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
If you think about a story as in The Hobbit, I love The Hobbit, so I will refer to The Hobbit along this hero's journey. Bilbo Baggins received the call. He was spoken to by Gandalf, which is his guide. It is his guide that is going to lead him along this journey. He received the call to adventure, and at first, leaving the Shire was one of the hardest things that he had to do. But by finally understanding what the importance of this journey really was, leaving the Shire was the importance of this journey really was, leaving the Shire was the exact time that Bilbo Baggins was crossing the threshold. Going into an adventure of unknown parallel, of nothing that he knew before this adventure. He knew nothing about anything past the Shire, as most hobbits just stay in the Shire for most of their lives. And just like many of us, we never really leave the Shire. We never really leave the ordinary world that most of us are living in. There's many more parts of the hero's journey, but I want to talk about this point right here because this is where I was on my first day on my walk across the country. And so it begins, crossing the threshold. On day one, my partner and I started walking across the country. We started on the beach in San Francisco, California.
All right, Pacific water to start your trip across the country.
Oh yeah, we're touching it.
What are we doing with that life?
We had 50, 60 pounds on our back, and the journey had just begun.
1 mile in.
Yep, here we are.
3,499 to go. 999. Oof.
I had never heard of anybody doing something so drastic to receive the answers that they were looking for. And as Bilbo Baggins was leaving the Shire, I was also leaving the Shire of my ordinary world. I was going on an adventure of an unknown parallel. The feelings that I felt were fear, anxiety, and a lot of excitement. I knew that although there was a lot of fear filling me of what could happen, there was also so much excitement of the possibilities were truly endless. And for me to leave the Shire, for me to start this journey, I knew that I was just gonna have to take one step at a time. First day of walking across the country was absolutely insane. We walked about 10.3 miles where we ended up in, I forget what it's called. I'll leave the name in the video. But as we're finally realizing we're completely exhausted at this point, it's time to set up camp for the first night ever. And setting up camp in a city is a very insane thing to do. Especially there's an extreme amount of homeless people, there's animals, like I said, there's all these factors that play into the mindset of us being in fear. Finally, we're ready to go and set up camp, and we're looking for a place in the woods. And we finally realize, okay, that place up there looks like a phenomenal place to set up camp. As we start walking up into the woods, we start to encounter our first drastic points of fear. We start to encounter obstacles in our path. There is a homeless man that is definitely not mentally sound. He is walking back and forth, pacing. He is saying things under his breath, smacking his head. He was just doing insane things, and we tried to bypass him, but he cut us off and telling us that this was his land, that we couldn't enter, that we needed to leave him alone, and that we weren't able to stay there. And of course, this was extremely fearful for us because our first night we're being yelled at and threatened by a homeless man that is obviously not in his right mind. We ended up continuing to walk, although we were so exhausted at that time. But we ended up moving deeper into the woods, finding a place to finally set up camp, probably about 300 or 400 yards from this man. And of course we were fearful, but there was not many options of where to actually set up camp. So we decided to go ahead and set up camp in that area. We got our meals out, we cooked dinner, we finally went to sleep, and we finished our very first night, and it was terrifying. Neither of us slept at all. We were constantly waking up at every single sound that we heard, every single stick that fell from the trees. Or the anxiety was so extremely high, but of course nothing happened. And moving past that fear, that first night, we realized, okay, we made it the first night. Let's continue and see where the world takes us. Me and my walking partner discovered that we were on completely different mindsets on why we were doing this journey. For me, I didn't care how long it took. My goal was to get the answers that I came for. And for my walking partner, it was about completing the journey. And although this is a great triumph for the journey, because these ideas differed so much, there began to be many problems with the way that we were moving. Each day on this journey was truly an obstacle. Because our mindsets were so different, it was hard to establish a proper schedule for ourselves, because honestly, I didn't really want a schedule, and my partner wanted a very strict schedule. So trying to find a middle ground took us some time. And that second day was the first time that we both discovered that we were not on this journey for the same reason.
If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you. It is a blessing to have people watching this journey. Over the next couple of months, I will be trying my best to make sure that every single Monday at 5 o'clock, there's a video posted continuing this journey. Unfortunately, last week and again yesterday, I was unable to make this happen. But as I am continuing this journey of self-discovery, just as you are on your own journey of self-discovery, I'm getting better every day at video editing and consistency and just understanding what message I am trying to push out to you. I just spent about 3.5 hours editing this video, so I hope to get that time down, but I do everything myself. For those that have just joined me, thank you so much for watching all of this video. If you have any idea or any comments that you would like to give me for self-improvement on these videos, things that you think I should take out, things that you think that I should keep in and do more of, I'm super open to hearing anything that you want to tell me, because this journey is not just about me, but it's about us and the relationship that we build as I continue to post these videos and to help you understand how I discovered my own hero's journey on this journey to self-discovery. Thanks so much, and I will see you next week.